What's up, gamers? So I've been working on a physically based ragdoll fighting game for the last couple of weeks, kind of like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, if you know what that game is. And so far, what I've done is add in these two very realistic physically based fighters. Okay, so, I'll admit, it's not the most realistic fighting simulation out there. I'm not really sure what this guy's arm is doing. It's kind of not following the laws of physics at all, which is a problem because I kind of want this game to be realistic and I want to watch people fight. Where's the violence? Where's the urge to inflict damage on another person? That's what I'm trying to get. And I'm not 100% sure the best way to do that at the moment, but to be honest, it can't really get any worse than this. So I think whatever I do is gonna help. All right, so I have added some sound effects to the punches and created some particles right here. Now, technically, I didn't really create the particles. I kind of imported them from another one of my Unity projects, but, I changed a couple of the settings to make them fit with this game a little bit more. So, that's kind of like creating a particle system, right? So if I show you right here, boom, look at these particles. Look at the quality. That's some pretty good stuff. Now I just have to play them when the troops punch. And I can quickly do that if I just go to the hands of the ragdoll. I have a script, apply punch force, and I already did all the programming, which was really complicated. It was like one line of code, pretty much. And now, this should work. I'm pretty sure. Okay. It is not working. Okay, where the smoke particles, they're getting spawned. Where are they getting spawned? I can't click on them. They're just getting destroyed before I can click on them. Okay, so it seems I forgot to enable play on awake. So none of the particles were playing. It's not my fault, okay? I made these particles like months and months ago, okay? And I just imported them. It's not my fault that I forgot to do that. And let's see. Boom! Okay, so it works. Now, I don't know if it looks that great at the moment, but I think, they're a little too big. They're a little too big. This should be easy to fix. I think if I just go to here, I'll just set it to like 0.25. Okay, that kind of works, maybe. The particles are not really playing in the right position for some reason, which should be easy to fix because I have another game where I did something similar, so I can just steal the code. Okay, I've slightly adjusted the code, and I think it should probably look a little bit better now. Okay. It's kind of the same, but I think it's maybe a little bit better. Honestly, I think the real problem is that these guys just stand right next to each other. They're probably supposed to walk away from each other a little bit, keep some distance. So it actually might be an AI problem. I guess that's what I'm going to fix next. Okay, so I have made a couple of small adjustments to the enemy's AI because before, for some reason, the way I had it set up, whenever the troops were attacking each other, they would just stand still, which I guess isn't really realistic, in hindsight, but it should be fixed now. So let me show you what it looks like because I actually think it looks a lot better than it did before. So let's see. Boom. And as you can see, as I get pushed around, they kind of try and walk back into the right range and keep hitting each other. Now, the arms are still freaking out a little bit. I don't really know how to fix that, but I think it adds a little bit of whimsy to the game, If the troops' arms break in 17 different positions every time they punch, that's just a little bit of added fun. But what I do want to do to make this look just a little bit better is to add a little hit flash whenever they take damage. Now, to do that, I actually need them to be able to take damage because right now this is all just visual effects. Technically, these guys are immortal and can't hurt each other. So I need to add in some sort of health system, which I don't think should be too hard. I've done it for other games. It should be pretty simple. Anyway, programming time. All right. So I have coded in damage and a hit flash, and we go to the game and I can show you what it looks like. And as you can see, it actually works pretty well. I wasn't really sure about it at first because I don't know, it kind of looks a little off in this kind of game, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of grown on me like a fungus. Anyway, technically these guys do have health, but also it doesn't really matter because, well, they can't die yet. So I have to figure out how I want them to die. And I think the easiest thing would just be to disable their active ragdoll and let them fall to the ground. Now, I don't actually know 100% how I do that because these guys are set up as active ragdolls with a bunch of joints. And I have this script here that applies a force to all the bones to have them look like they're doing an animation. Now, I wonder if I just deactivate that function, and if I disable all of these scripts and hit play, the guy, he should just fall over as a ragdoll. No. Why doesn't this work? How doesn't this work? Oh no, he does fall over, but he's just super stiff? Is he just really good at balancing? Okay, you know what? I have to bring out my testing object, the cube. What's really going on here? Okay, now, as I can see... Okay, so it just seems to be all the limbs are stiff. Okay, no, I think I know what it is. In all of the configurable joints, I have the X drives and stuff set up. So if I just remove all of these, and I have to remember to put that back, now when I hit play, I think he'll just fall over. I mean, he fell over. That's not the best looking animation. This might be more complicated than I hoped it would be. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna need some time to figure out how to do this. So I'll be back, I guess, once I've figured out why this is not working at all. I don't understand what's wrong. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so I've done a little bit of work on trying to get this guy to die, and it's going okay, but I have run into a couple of problems that I'll show you because I don't really know how to explain it. So I'll just play the game and I'll show you what I've got so far. So as you can see, this guy's walking over here, and if I press E to kill him, he kind of just melts into the floor, which, you know, I mean, technically he probably is dead. I don't think anyone's surviving that, but it's also not that realistic just to have him melt. Now, the reason that this is happening is because I thought I would be able to go through code for all of his joints and then just change the angular X drive position spring and position damper, which would stop the limbs from being able to follow the animation. But the thing is, you can't actually change these in code. Like, you just can't. For whatever reason, they don't let you. So the only thing I can do is just disable the joint, which is what results in him just melting. So, I need to try and figure out a way to actually make this work, which I thought this was going to be easy, but apparently this is not. Apparently this, for some reason, is really complicated. You can't just change the position dampers on the joint. You have to actually... Oh my god. I think the way to do this is to create a copy of the character that's just a regular ragdoll and doesn't have any of the active ragdoll components here, and then just replace this character with that character on death, which I feel like should work, but I also felt like everything else would work. And it hasn't, so... But you know what? It's the only thing I know how to do, so I think I just have to give it a go. I have some hope that it'll work, you know, just a little bit. Okay, so I've added the code that should replace the ragdoll on death. And I stopped this guy from moving so he can't escape. But when I hit E to kill him, you can see it actually works, which is pretty surprising because I was not expecting this would work. Now, the only thing is, right now this is working with him just standing still. And I don't know what it'll be like in normal gameplay because there's a bunch of forces being applied to the bones and he's moving a lot and getting punched, but I guess I'm gonna be testing that. So I have the blue guy and the red guy, and one of them should die, and we can see if this actually works or not. I think it takes a few hits for them to die. So let's see. Oh, okay. It kind of worked. They both died at the same time. Now, they did both turn red because right now the death ragdoll is only red. So that works. Now, I think the last thing I can do to make this look a lot better is to add a force on death so that when the troops die, they like go flying. So I guess I'll go do that. Okay, so after some more programming, the death force should be working. So right here, I have it set to 500, but why don't I just increase those numbers a little bit? Just a little bit. And now, when one of these guys dies, they should go flying. I'm pretty confident this works. I've tested it a few times and it's worked every time so far. Okay, maybe those numbers were a little bit too high. I didn't think it was gonna... I thought it was gonna be a lot of force, but I didn't think it was gonna be that much force. He just disappeared. All right, well, let me change that. Let me just get rid of a few of those zeros. You know what? 5,000. 5,000 is probably all right. Attempt number 2 with a hopefully more realistic force. Whoa. Okay. Where's he going? Is he gonna land? I'm trying to follow him. Oh no, he's still going, dude. Oh, he's off the... Yeah, he's gone. Okay, let me just take a 0 off there. 500 should be good. Attempt number 3. 500 should be a good force. I'm pretty sure. But I was wrong about the last 2, so I guess let's see. Boom! That's way better. Dude, that's so sick. And this guy's just being disrespectful and still beating up the air where the guy died from. Now, I think it's just because the AI still thinks that the guy is right here between all these balls. So it still thinks he's alive. And now that I've got this pretty much completely working, there's one more thing I need to do. Just gonna add some more of these guys. Just spread out these blue guys. Now I'll grab the red guy and spread out some of the red guys. One of these guys will be the last one standing. Which one will it be? It's going to be impossible to tell which one, but, you know, you can take a guess if you want. Here we go. It's taking a long time to load, probably because it's a lot of rigid bodies. Oh, yes. Oh my god, it's lagging. Look at the violence. Yes! Oh my god. Look how good this is. Oh my god. People are flying everywhere. Oh wait, it's actually getting down to it. Who's going to win? 3 people left. Oh my god, 1v1. Red versus blue, who's gonna win? Who's it gonna be? It's the blue guy. Oh my god, look at all the corpses. This is so much better than it was before. This is perfect. Okay, there was a lot of lag that I'll have to optimize for because I do also want to have a lot more troops than this, but hopefully that shouldn't be too difficult. I don't know, I'll have to figure that out. You can check out my Patreon if you want to download this Unity project to run your own simulation of red guys and blue guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I think next I'm going to actually set up a real level for the game because I'm kind of getting tired of watching these guys fight just in the void here with this checkered floor. But yeah, until then, peace out, gamers.